alive. Think. Hello, guys. What's up, Bruce? Hey, Shons. Hope you guys have your brown elixir of life. Oh, hello there. We got someone and then we lost somebody. Let's just give him another minute or so, and then we can carry on. No mineral. Jacques. We are good, sir. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope everybody's ready for a cold front tomorrow. Or probably later tonight. It's supposed to be. Oh, I see. It's keeping on changing. Okay, it's not so bad anymore. 19. They were expecting even smaller ones. What's up, Billy? It's going to be a little bit colder. Bruce is on rations. He's not allowed any mineral. Me, I have paced myself. All right. If you guys are okay, maybe. Yeah, we good. Thanks. Glad you guys are doing all right, Billy and Jacques. Hope everybody is enjoying this quiet time. Hey, Donnie. And if you guys mustn't be shy to share. Hey, it's a main arts. Hey, Paul. Hope you guys are doing well. You guys don't be shy to share what's going on. Regarding what you're learning and what God is saying. Let me just take care of some stuff. All right. 1 more minute, literally. And then we'll give other people a little bit of chance. Even I was pleasantly surprised at how fast and easy this time it worked. So let's see. You guys, I'm assuming you guys can hear me okay and we don't have any issues there. Just give me a thumbs up if everything is fine. I take it yes. The message seems to be repeating for me. Be still and know that I am God. Absolutely. We have to. It's like I was telling you guys in the voice note. Hello, Tanya and Andres. The message has definitely been one of faith. I'm just going to put this on vibrate. One of faith, where we're just holding on. Circumcision of the heart, Hey, Candace. And, circumcision of the heart, checking one's heart condition, holding on to faith, seeing what people really are focusing on. And I think God's challenging that and checking our habits and what we put our identity in. We are completely fixated with our routine. And as soon as we take that away, then a lot of people fall down. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're about. And that becomes a sad reality when we form our identity on things that are external and not on who we are. All right, guys. It seems we've waited about 5 minutes so the guys can join as we go along. All right. If you guys will just say, let's do the bracha. Yes. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan Torah. Amen. Blessed are you, Lord God, King of the universe, who gives the Torah of truth and the good news of salvation to his people Israel and to all the peoples through his son Yeshua the Messiah, Lord. Amen. Okay. Right. So we got stuck into Matthew 27. I've got a note here that we finished around verse 15. I am hoping that we are going to finish it. Obviously, Matthew 28 with the Great Commission and things like that are extremely. There's a lot to talk about. And how do you guys know me? When it comes to teaching, I'm a man of lots of words. Hopefully important ones. But so let's see how far we go. I'm hoping that we'll do it. If you guys want, you can put little suggestions of where you want to go to next. I was thinking the Gospel of John. We haven't done that in a very long time. We've got some in-depth studies there that can go. I think the Gospels are a good base, but purely because we can understand our Messiah better and better disciple. In this time of Pesach, I think that's important. But let me know what you're thinking. Okay, so I'm gonna read from chapter 27, verse 15. It was the governor's custom during the festival to set one prisoner free, or wherever the crowd had asked for. There was that time that a notorious prisoner being held, named by, in most translations, will say Barnabas. If you will note, there will probably be a little asterisk or a little addendum there. His name was Yeshua, but to identify the difference, it was Yeshua, the King of the Jews, and also, hello, Auntie, the King of the Jews, as well as Yeshua bar Abba bar in Aramaic is the son of father. Okay, so see the different place here. Someone who's going to be set free, the salvation, the son of Abba, or Yeshua, who is called the King of the Yehudim. Okay, so it's almost as like this king was rejected, but Yeshua, the Son of God, now he was set free. Okay, so you got to keep that in your back of your mind. There is a beautiful play here when it comes to high priestly roles, which I want to examine. If I don't, please send me a message, send smoke signals, blow a shofar, do something. Okay. It's quite important. So when the crowd had gathered, Pilate said to them, "Whom do you want me to set free for you, Barabbas or Yeshua called the Messiah?" Okay, Mashiach. For he understood that it was out of jealousy that they have handed him over. Okay, so what type of jealousy are we dealing with here? If you are the know-it-alls of your religious group, you were the people that were supposed to see it first. You were the people that were supposed to be doing the miracles. You were the people with the faith. You were the people that were supposed to say, "There's the Mashiach, and he's come to establish what he needs to do." You are the person that we need to be focusing on, and you've missed him. And because he doesn't fit your agenda or your understanding, you don't want to be shown up. And the more you're trying to sort of back away from the situation, in a sense, when they first started examining, the more miracles that started to happen, and the more they had to question, and the more they questioned, the more they realized they fell short. is this Messiah who was supposed to be for all of the Yehudim now all of a sudden coming up and actually convicting the Yehudim and saying, listen, you guys need to wake up. You guys are doing it wrong. Your hearts are all skew. You are all about the outside and none about the inside. And guys, listen up. This is a message for our time. Religious outward observance means nothing. In the Hebraic roots movement, the outward observance should be the manifestation of an inward heart change. If your heart changes and it is for God, then we should be the ones that, because it is for God, we get to rest it. We get to celebrate the feast. We get to take hold of his robe, his tzitziot, and say, Father, I need saving. If we just do it and there's no heart condition attached, it's the same as the Pharisees. On the outside, everything looks great, but on the inside, man, there's something that's just not there. There's no fruit. There's no heart change. And when there's no heart change, then we really start to struggle, right? Because it speaks of outward observance, and I'm just doing this. So then when I don't have to do it, or there's an excuse, let's say, well, there's a party, or I'd rather go ride my bike, or I'd rather sit at home because it's cold, or do we really have to do this weird Jewish thing? I don't really get it. And we make up all these excuses about why we shouldn't, or why this isn't the Messiah. And then eventually we start to push people away that show up our hypocrisy, show up our heart condition. And because we don't like the truth is, you're lazy, you're arrogant, are selfish, you're more concerned about yourself. The more we're concerned about other things, and we're not concerned about how God sees us and what we should be doing to please him. And they come here and they see this Messiah and he's saying, listen, you guys are the ones who are supposed to know what's going on. And then you do what? You say, yeah, okay, if this is the Mashiach and he's telling me I'm getting it wrong, well, who is he? Who taught him? Let's pull at qualification strings. Let's pull at his lineage. Let's find fault with him to prove that I'm right. And that is such a human thing to do. We try, and when we get confronted with people, to look for excuses of why they're wrong. And I'm not saying we shouldn't taste the fruit. God says we must. But let's make it about the fruit and not about ourselves. Okay? So we need to get our heart conditions right. Otherwise, we will miss what is meant for us. And in this case, it was. So in verse 19, it says, while he was sitting in court, his wife sent him a message. This is now Pilate's wife. It says, leave the innocent man alone. Today, in a dream, I suffered terribly because of him. So God is even reaching out. Again, we need to understand, how far does God go to be able to get us to turn, to change? The Gentile guy, the governor, is saying, listen, he's innocent. What's your problem? The wife is getting a dream, and listen, back away from this. This is not good. You've got other people warning the Pharisees, but people steamroll forward. Because of your hardness of heart, you will put a path that is laid out for you that God does not want you to take, and you will choose it because it's more comfortable for you. Faith lesson. Growth is uncomfortable. It starts to show up things in your heart. It starts to push you and prod you to take ownership of things that you would rather ignore, where you've been passive in scenarios and not taking hold of responsibility and going, come on, I'm responsible here. I have this role to play out. This is leadership's problem. This is not youth leadership. Not youth issue, or we like to shift blame and hope everybody else, or let's not say shift blame. If I don't get it, it's just using this as an excuse. Vince isn't teaching it right, and maybe it's the scenario, and we all have to ask ourselves here: is what I've been taught, is that being applied? And am I taking hold of it and putting it into practice? All right. As we've taken on the yoke of discipleship, teaching is a tool to get you to understand what you should be doing. Your heart conditioning gets changed by God, because He's ultimately the one teaching you. And He's trying to correct your thinking and your heart condition towards something so that you would better follow it. Okay, so God goes again way above normal means to try and get these people to understand that what they're about to do. Okay, even though this is part of His plan, and remember the whole story with Sejanus and Tiberius would have had this man executed regardless. He had set up so many things and used people's insecurities and their past and their plans and all the rest of it to get them to one specific thing. I know what you're going to do. You still have a choice to make. I don't want you to do it, but you're going to do it anyway because of your hardness of heart. Anyway, let's come back. Verse 20. But the head Kohanim persuaded the crowd to ask for Barnabas release and have Yeshua executed on the stake. Which of the two do you want me to set free for you? Asked the governor. Barnabas, they answered. Pilate said to them, then what should I do with Yeshua called the Mashiach, the Messiah? They said, put him to death on the stake. Put him to death on the stake. When he asked, why? What crime has he committed? And they shouted all the louder. Put him to death on a stake. When Pilate saw that he was accomplishing nothing, but rather that the riot was starting, he took water, washed his hands in front of the crowd, and said, my hands are clean from this man's blood. It's your responsibility. Now let's pause there. When light comes into a room, we need to remember that the accusations that come out against you make no sense. Have you ever been inside of a discussion when you know it's the enemy just ramping things up and people are accusing you of things that have got nothing to do with the issue that's at hand? That people are just, that's all your fault, Christianity caused Corona. What? That's why 5G cell towers are being put into place, or whatever the case may be. China is trying to eradicate Christians. That's why they're trying to poison the world. And logic leaves the room a long time ago when you get involved in one of these discussions, right? And you've got to realize that there is no reason behind it. And the people themselves have no clue of why they're angry. They have no understanding of what's really going on. But the enemy behind them is the one that's pulling that string. Now you need to learn, when it's in that type of scenario, you need to look past the person. You need to look at the enemy behind it, and you need to go, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So you ignore the person completely. Let them have the wobble. It has got nothing to do with the issue. All they're trying to do is manipulate you to get you to do something or to stop you from doing something that you know you should. And the enemy uses all types of things, right? Fear, paranoia, stress, fake news, whatever the case may be. And then he gets you so ramped up about stuff that you have got no control over. And this fear takes over, and you're just like, no, we have to do this, we have to do that. And if we don't do this, we're never going to make it. I just take a moment, take a step back and go, why am I feeling this way? What is this immediate thing that needs to be resolved by me freaking out by it? What is the person really trying to say? And again, for the most part, logic leaves the room. When logic has left the room, then you're dealing with something else. Okay? So take it for what it is. If there's testing, if there's a trial that you're supposed to be going with, and yield to it and say, Father, teach me. If it's attack, say, Father, I pray that you would just protect me during this time. And Father, teach me again what I need to learn here. And again, like I said in the voice note today, sometimes we're not going to understand all the things that we go through, guys. God is God, and He knows what He wants to achieve and who He's teaching. And it's not up to you how He does things. That's the cool part. When He runs the universe and we don't know what's going on, we know He does. And we know that He does everything for the good of those who love Him. Even now, in the midst of a terrible plague where it has many people dying, maybe for some, it is a chance to go home. Maybe for others, a reality check to get serious about God. Maybe yet still for others, an opportunity to fix their family life. Maybe for others, a chance for others to spend time with their family because they travel a lot. Maybe for others, a time of silence and quiet to be able to get our houses in order, to be able to strengthen our bonds, to be able to spend time in the Word and get quiet so that we can hear from Him. Because in normal situations, you're just too busy. We've made our lives about so many other things. And now, what do you have? You know, I was sharing with someone that I don't know if you guys have seen, it was a while ago. I tried to stay off social media, but I think it was in the States, Walmart. Bibles were sold out. You know, when things of biblical proportions sort of happen, people want to know that God of the universe is still in control. Even in the midst of this trial, God is in control. If you choose this, this is what I'm going to do. If you choose that, this is what I'm going to do. Ultimately, His will be done. Amen. All the people answered, His blood is on us and our children. And then he released then he released to them Barabbas, but Joshua, after having him whipped, he handed him over to be executed on a stake. Okay. So here we have Yeshua being wanting to be set free, or Pilate wanting to set Yeshua HaMashiach free. And the Yehudim, the Jews, say no. And remember, this isn't all of them. You've got believers who are Jewish here. You have people that are saying, and they don't even know what's going on here, let blood be on our heads. Okay? They're invoking a curse. And when you start to think about, Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel was called to be a watchman.